sorry about that. My capture ran out. Let's go ahead and try this now. If we were to play this, hit the play button. Of course, we now have our weapon. Let's go ahead and see if it does not go through the wall. Oh, it does still. We have one more thing we need to do. So let's do that. We need to put the weapon itself inside of a layer. So select the weapon, come up here to the inspector, find the layer, and make sure that the weapon is put into the weapon layer that is drawing the weapon, like that. Now, let's see if this works. There goes my box. Yes, I'm not walking through there. Looks good. And yeah, look at that. That's awesome. All right, so now we're good to go. All right, so the next thing we needed to do in our game here is we want to spawn out and shoot things. And let's look at our list just to make sure we're right on task. Create the FBS character, duplicate, add weapon. Now we're doing the spawn point, and then we're going to add the script elements, the game script, and then the script elements. All right, so the spawn point is a very simple thing to do. Once again, we're going to repeat the process. This time, creating an empty game object. We'll call it a spawn. And this is going to be the point at which the beam of light projects out of our weapon. Okay, the spawn point. And we do this in the same way. We're going to attach this to the weapon itself. So we drag it onto the weapon. It's now nested inside the weapon. We're going to zero it out now that it's a child. It will zero out to the parent. And we're going to just move it forward now and up a little bit so that it is coming right out from the gun's barrel. Right there. Awesome. Okay, now it is ready. Spawn point, weapon, weapon cam. Last thing is we need to add our component, the scripts. So let's go ahead and get our game scripts, and we're looking for the Ray shoot script. This one right here, we will drag it right onto the spawn point since that's the thing that is creating the shooting, and then we will look at its options here. There's a couple of things we need to change or add. First, we have the damage. This is the amount of damage that's emitted to an enemy. The script itself has a target to the enemy health script, and it does target it and it does remove it. So you should use the enemy health script in conjunction with this script so that you can, hurt your enemies. We'll discuss that when we do the AI. So let's look at the shot length. This is the amount or the distance that your shot travels. We'll make this about, let's do 20. I usually work with 50, but just for fun, we'll do 20. RayStrength is the amount of force that is applied to your weapon when you fire it and it hits something. So this would be like the amount of rigid body. Objects that have rigid bodies will be affected by this. So if you want this to work, you need to give your object a rigid body. These crates have rigid bodies. That's why when I hit them at their point, they spin around or they knock over, and the force that is applied to them is determined by this value. So let's go with, let's make this crazy. Let's go with 500 this time. Okay. Laser line. This is the actual line renderer that we will draw. And we actually have to make a line renderer now on this component, which we'll do in a second. And it will draw a laser sight line, which will add a texture to, which we will encode, call on, and enable and disable whatever we are clicking on the mouse button, showing us the laser and turning it off. Okay, so the laser line, we'll get that in a second. Laser light, we also need to make a light. So let's go ahead and create a game object, create other, and we'll go ahead and create a point light. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to nest it inside of the spawn point. So we have the weapon, spawn point, point light. And the point light we will zero out so that it is right on the right there. Awesome. And let's actually pull it forward a bit like that. Okay, so the point light. There it is. All right, so a couple things we can do with point light to make it really neat. The range, it's up to you what you want to set this to. It's just the flash for the laser. So let me put this to 20. And I'm gonna make the light color. I'm double click on here and get my color picker. I'll make it red. We'll make this really crazy. Actually, yeah, I'll make it red because my laser beam is red. So I'll make it red. And then intensity is where we really make it we want to really bring this intensity up. Remember, it's not going to show in the screen until we shoot. So that's pretty good for a laser shot. You want this to be seen. Okay, shadow type, no shadows, of course, and that's good. Everything else works fine. Let's go ahead and add this light into our script. So we need to select the spawn point, okay? And we're gonna drag the point light for the spawn point into this laser light slot. So watch. Click, drag right into there. Now that laser light is that point light, okay? In code, it's called laser light. It's a variable that we can enable and disable, and it goes over here, looks for this guy, and turns it on and turns it off. Do the same thing for the blast audio. Let's just go to our audio files, sound effects, and I have a laser shot here. It's an MP3 file that I'll be using. Okay, so I've got it here in my assets. I need to go back to my spawn point so I can see the different slots in my inspector. The laser, or the blast audio, here it is. We're gonna just drag this right on in there. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is the laser line. And I think I will hold off for the last tutorial to set that up because I think we're running low on time here. So let me go ahead and just stop this